actually wore this dress to my 8th grade graduation. You think I would have grown, right? Me too. After my first day of high school, I came home and cried to my mother. My class sizes were huge, I got lost on the way to every class, and the upperclassmen seemed old and intimidating. My friends laughed about how poorly they were doing in their classes, and there was not one teacher who remembered my name. I was far too embarrassed to try out for a sports team, since I knew I would be the only girl there who had never played before. I found myself without a reason to go to school each day. My grades were slipping, my friends didn't notice that I was unhappy, and I was simply another absent student to the school administration. After watching almost every Disney movie about high school ever created, I thought that everyone had a tough time in high school like me. But one day I met my friend who attended Oak Grove. She laughed as she told me conversations she had had with her teachers. I worried because in my experience, the only time a student talked with a teacher was for a disciplinary chat. She seemed to be so close with her freshman class, while I was terrified of speaking to mine. She talked so highly of her school that I decided to visit. Within a few months, I was attending my first day of high school here. I was instantly thrown into an environment I wasn't used to, and I was outside of my comfort zone. If you had heard my heartbeat the first time Paul asked for my opinion in class, or the first time someone passed me the ball in soccer, you would have worried for my health. I learned over time that it was a frequent occurrence to be uncomfortable here, but not in a bad way. I was on stage performing one week and backpacking through mountains the next. Now I see myself volunteering to do these kinds of activities, camping on the weekends, singing with friends at open mics, and deciding on my own to put myself outside of my comfort zone. Now that I'm moving on, I'm so nervous and excited at the same time. I'm ready now to make myself uncomfortable. Knowing what I want and sometimes being vulnerable on the way is worth the risk. I find myself making decisions about my future and comparing them to my time at Oak Grove. I decided that I'm going to spend a week this summer in a foreign country with a family that doesn't speak English, reminiscing of my homestay family on the India trip. I decided to go to a college far away from home, thinking about how much fun I had for a long period of time halfway around the world with my classmates. I decided to take on the heavy workload of a pre-med student, thinking of how well I've handled my studies here. As I move on from Oak Grove and from Ojai, I know there are so many things I miss, but I take with me my newfound courage to put myself out there and try to stop fearing the uncomfortable.